Alright, just wanted to show you our farm and our setup and how it works, and give you a little bit of overview and show you a little bit of the key elements that we use on our farm when we raise our flocks. We do this for both ducks and turkeys. As you can see here, we have our meat birds. We have about 250 birds in this batch. We use a couple of different elements here I'm going to show you. So first off is fencing, predator control. We use this electric netting, which is electrified. You can buy it in 100-foot rolls, and this is actually from a company called Premier One. And this one's the actual chick netting. So what it does is it has this finer mesh at the bottom so birds and chicks can't get their heads stuck in it, and then a larger hole mesh at the top. I think it's 2 to 4 inches, somewhere in that range. To keep that powered, we have a solar charger here, and this is also from Premier One, but they make lots of different kinds, and this is the IntelliShock 120. And what it is it has a solar panel to keep our battery charged. Inside is the battery, and as well as the charge controller that just clips onto our fence at one point. So solar panel clips on, the metal clip on our fence. Another clip is grounded out, and so when anything touches, these horizontal wires are electrified, it gets shocked. And so that keeps out all four-legged predators. However, it does not keep out aerial predators, and that's our biggest issue. We rarely have a four-legged predator knock this fence down, but aerial predators, hawks, owls, eagles are a challenge. So to deal with that, if we're having heavy aerial pressure, we have a couple of solutions, and they're not 100%, but they help. We have our shelters, which you can see over here, and I also describe in our shelter making video. These are all PVC, lightweight, easy to move. We have one shelter that's 3-inch PVC with a 10x10 tarp on it. Our other shelter is 10x20. We actually have a pretty strong gust of wind right now, and these things have never flipped over. They are lightweight, but the air, because the tarp lays relatively flat, the air moves through it. The other one's 2-inch PVC, and I have a video describing how exactly we build these, with a couple key elements about those shelters. But they provide protection from not only the sun, they give them shade in the heat of the summer, they give them shade or protection from rain when it's really nasty, and they give them a place to hide from aerial predators. Lastly, as far as predator control, we have our goose. You can see him out there in the very back. Mr. Goose here, and he will chase off predators. He will actually usually charge me when I go in to feed him, although he has gotten used to me over time. But he is very aggressive, and he does a good job. You can hear him hissing, keeping predators away. Now, predators will still get in here, but you can see he's hissing. He doesn't like me being near his flock. One goose works better than many. We've tried 2 geese, we've tried up to 25, 30 geese, and 1 goose is more effective than 30 geese because he will protect the birds like his offspring. Whereas if you have multiple geese, they just flock together and could care less about the rest of the flock. Hi, buddy. So the other elements of our pastured poultry design, which make it easy to rotate, we rotate this fencing every 2 days, sometimes every day, sometimes every 3 days, depending on the size of the birds and how many we have in each paddock. Right now we have 2 100-foot rolls clipped together, so square, that's 50 by 50. And this serves about 250 birds pretty well for 2 days. You can see the pasture. This is before they enter it. This is while they're in it. And this is after. We'll go back over here and I'll show you. You can see the impact they have. Ducks are very messy. They love splashing water everywhere. And so we'll get some pretty worn areas that will take some time to recover where the feed and water troughs are. You can see some bare areas. Ideally, we want to move them before they do too much impact. We always want to leave some residual grass. So there are some bare areas, but you can see there's a good amount of residual grass and cover on this soil. Their manure is left behind, which acts as kind of an armor on the soil as well. And we do want to leave some residual so that this stuff can regenerate and come back quickly. We'll usually come back, depending on the season, anywhere from 3 to 4 months, we'll come back to it again. You'll also see our feeders. These are trough feeders, which we use this double-walled irrigation pipe that we cut in half. They work great. We've got our bulk water. One water can water up to 500 birds. So we'll show it to you here on the ground, made out of PVC with a float valve. I have a video that describes how to build your water for very cheaply. You can water up to 500 birds, and it's great for ducks because they can dunk their bills in, chickens, turkeys, but they can't poop in it very well. Our water, you can connect it to a hose or some kind of irrigation line, but if you're off-grid and rural, we also have our water tank here, which this is just an IBC tank. You can get a fitting to plug in a hose. We mounted it on a cart, and this cart can be pulled with an ATV or four-wheeler. This tank holds up to 330 gallons, and we have off-grid, gravity-fed water. No electronic or components that could fail, so they always have water. This works well for a small flock, but these ducks go through a lot of water, so ideally you would have some kind of plumbing or a well system. So we talked about the water, the feeder, the shelters, the fencing, and our tank. And so these guys move every couple days. They leave their manure behind. They help the grass regenerate, jumpstart that photosynthesis cycle, put carbon back in the soil. It's a really beautiful system. All right, guys? Plus, we cut about a third of our feed bill down by them foraging on grasses and bugs. And they stay healthier. We do have some kills. I'll show you here. This is a predator kill that was here this morning. Either a hawk or an owl. I know it's an aerial predator because they just ate the head, left the rest of it. So if you have a very small flock and you're doing this, you're going to run out of animals very quickly. Predators are going to pick them off. So you either need to make your fencing smaller, add more cover on top,